Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's review we're going to be checking out Trover Saves the Universe. As most of my reviews, I do have the platinum trophy on this, so I'd like to say I know what I'm talking about. Now this is a game by the co-creator of Rick and Morty, so you can kind of see where this is going. If you are into Rick and Morty, then you're going to find this game absolutely hilarious, but if you don't really like the humor in Rick and Morty, then you probably won't really like the humor in this game. You know, it's the typical over-the-top humor where they can basically fit in a swear word wherever they want. Apart from that, I just want to mention that you can filter the game. So if you've got children around or you're just not into that kind of humor, you can filter it and it will filter out pretty much all the swearing, though it will keep certain aspects of the humor, I guess. That could be called inappropriate. But with that out of the way, this is a PSVR game. You can play it without the VR mode. Actually, all the footage you're going to be seeing in this review is actually not the VR mode, just to make it look a bit better, because, you know, if you record VR, it looks all squarey and not quite the same quality. Though this is a PS4 exclusive at the moment, it will be out on PC, so you can play it over on PC VR the 4th of June, so in a few days time. At the moment it's only on PSVR. Anyway, let's get into the actual game. The story is very basic and doesn't really make sense. You just basically, your dogs have powered a almighty creature that is going to take over the universe. That's literally the story. Your dogs have became part of this creature. I do want to say that though the story is very basic and not that thought through, the ending is pretty unique and cool. I don't want to spoil anything, but I did like how the game ends. It's kind of pretty cool, very Rick and Morty-ish, I guess. So like I said, this game is got the same type of humor as Rick and Morty. However, I do want to just say that somehow, I don't know how they pulled this off, but the humor is really, really well done. Like the timing of the jokes, everything like that is incredibly well done in this game, because just like the co-creator did say in an interview, it must be very hard, or it's definitely a lot harder to keep the timing of the jokes in a video game where the player is in control than in a TV show or whatever, where you have total control of the pauses and stuff like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and say that they did a great job. It almost feels like the character knows what you're doing. Like there was this one time where you had to make a choice and I really wasn't sure what choice to make, so I kept going backwards and forwards with the character, and the character kind of realized what I was doing straight away and was like, oh, so we're changing our mind now. Oh no, okay, we're going back this way. It just felt like the character knew exactly what I was doing, and you can tell that they worked really hard on this, so the humor made sense and the timing on everything was absolutely perfect. This is an adventure type game, your typical hack and slash. You don't have much combat moves. You start with just a normal slash, and then you unlock a strong slash, and then you also unlock an ability where the player yourself can kind of help out by grabbing items and throwing them at the enemies while you control Trover at the same time, which is pretty cool. It is very simple, but really it's the type of game that kind of works well with this, and I think any more would have been a bit over the top, since there is quite a lot going on at the same time. You are controlling two things. So yeah, another thing, like we said, you control Trover with the controller pad and you fight with him with the controller pad, but at the same time you are a Cheropian, which is kind of weird, but it kind of actually makes sense. When you're playing in VR, at least you feel like you are purposely part of the universe, because your character is literally just stuck in a chair. And it kind of feels like you, because you're obviously, well, I mean, most of us probably sat down while playing this in VR. So it kind of makes sense. You're not just some kind of fancy camera system going around the universe. You do actually feel like you are this Cheropian, which is a race that only sits in chairs, and you teleport around helping out Trover. So it kind of feels legit in that aspect, and it kind of really does put you in the character and the universe. Obviously, like I said, the combat's not the main point, the story's definitely not the main point. The humor and the characters are definitely the strong point of this game. Like I said before, they feel alive, and like it kind of feels like they have their own life apart from when you're there, because sometimes you'll stop talking to somebody and you can just walk away, but the characters will just keep on talking either to you or just in between themselves or even to themselves, and you can just walk away if you want and continue with your life. Like, you're supposed to kind of walk away and continue with the game, but they just feel like they've got their own lives. Sometimes they'll just talk about random things, and like it lasts for quite a while, and they never really repeat themselves either. I mean, sometimes they do end it in quite a dumb way, but you can probably stand around for a good 3 or 4 minutes after you're supposed to go, and the characters will keep talking to each other and just all keep looking at you and saying what the hell you're doing, kind of thing. And it's absolutely hilarious. I think there was not a single time that I walked away until their dialogue was completely up, and I think that's great. Now, I said that you can play this in non-VR version. It's not a bad game. I'd say it's a bit more difficult in non-VR version just because of the way the game is made for VR, and sometimes the perspective's a bit weird, especially when like throwing items around and stuff like that. And the VR version is very well done, and it's obviously a lot more fun. I mean, it is cool that if you don't have PSVR and you just want to maybe play this game for the humor or whatever because you really do like Rick and Morty, then that is absolutely amazing, and I think more VR games should do this. But if you do have a PSVR, definitely play it in VR. There's one tiny thing that I didn't like about the VR, and this is very pickish, but sometimes the NPCs will ask you a question. If you're playing without a VR headset, you use the D-pad to answer yes or no, but when you've got the VR headset on, you shake your head up and down or left and right to say yes or no. I think the game should add like an indicator or something when you have to answer, because sometimes if you're just like looking around the environment and somebody's asking you something and you don't quite realize that you're supposed to answer, if you're looking around left and right, that will kind of automatically trigger that you're saying no, and that's very annoying. Like, I don't know, maybe like a little indicator saying that you're gonna have to answer a question or something, so you don't move your head, because there's not a single pop-up or anything. The questions are really dumb and don't really affect the story in any way, though they are quite funny. But I don't know, I think they should add like a little indicator or something like that. But really, apart from that, I haven't really got much more complaints. I mean, I'd definitely say this is the best VR game that I've ever played. I don't play a massive amount of VR games, but it's definitely a really fun game. Like I said, I played for it multiple times until I had the Platinum Trophy. And yeah, I'm going to have to give this game an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it is now available on PS4 or PSVR and will be available on PC the 4th of June. So hopefully this review is helpful, guys. If it was, please go like and subscribe. You can support the channel more directly by becoming a member down below. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Give me 1 sec. The fuck are you doing? What is that? Is that shit?
Oh, sorry about that. I guess I forgot what direction my toilet was in. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Get the hell off my property. This is a private event.